Hello guys, so this is a brief video over pronoun reference agreement and case. Again, just like a subject-verb agreement, this is very much something that you probably get right most of the time, no matter what. 95% of the time, you're going to get pronoun agreement and things like that correct just naturally, since you were 5 years old, you've known how to do most of this stuff. But just like with subject-verb agreement, there's a lot of finicky little rules in there that will trip you up every once in a while, and definitely will be there on the test. So let's go through a few of those. First of all, kind of a refresher on what pronouns are. Remember that pronoun is a pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun or another pronoun. It keeps us from having to write the same word repeatedly. For example, you wouldn't want to say or write the following: Bob went to the movies to see a film that Bob had been anticipating. However, when Bob arrived, Bob realized that Bob's wallet, where Bob kept all of Bob's money, was empty. Yeah, that sounded terrible, right? So instead, we can insert pronouns. And instead we can say he in the place of Bob once we've established who Bob is. Bob went to the movies to see a film he had been anticipating. However, when he arrived, he realized that his wallet, where he kept all of his money, was empty. That's a lot cleaner and meaner than saying the guy's name over and over and over again. And it makes a lot more sense. Antecedents, on the other hand, are the noun or pronoun that is being referred to by a pronoun. So the pronoun or noun that a pronoun replaces is called an antecedent. The prefix ante means before because the antecedent comes before the pronoun that replaces it. And that's very important to remember to always establish in your paragraphs and in your sentences who a pronoun is talking about before you start using a pronoun. Bob went to see a film he had been anticipating. We have to say who Bob is first, and then we can use the word he. In the sentence above, Bob is the antecedent, and the pronoun he replaces Bob. Pronoun agreement. Pronoun agreement means that the antecedent and the pronoun that replaces it agree in number. In other words, if the antecedent is singular, then the pronoun that replaces it must also be singular. Example, Bob equals he. Bob is a singular sponge, and he is a singular pronoun. This is usually very simple. However, when using indefinite pronouns, we must be sure to use singular words because these are always singular, even though they may seem like plurals. So, singular pronouns: I, you, me, it, my, he, him, she, her. This is a little bit of an old presentation. You could actually use they in here now too, but it's not going to be that way on the test. Plural pronouns: they, them, their, us, we, our. Singular indefinite pronouns: these are ones that would be, you would use them as if they were singular, even though they are referring to plural people. Someone, everyone, somebody, nobody, no one, either, neither, no, none. Each and everybody. Some of these are referring to nobody at all, so it's pretty easy. Pronoun agreement example: someone forgot to complete their essay. We would say, I've heard a lot of people say things like this, but the problem with this is that the antecedent, someone, is singular, and the pronoun there is plural. They don't agree, so either the antecedent must be made plural, to match the pronoun, or the pronoun must be made singular to match the antecedent. Someone forgot to complete his or her essay. Some students forgot to complete their essay. But someone is always considered singular. The writer could also eliminate the pronoun altogether, as in the following example. Someone forgot to complete the essay. This is probably the best of these three sentences. Pronoun agreement sample. A person should always floss after dipping their can of smokeless tobacco. The antecedent person is singular and the pronoun there is plural. So instead you need to replace there with a singular pronoun. A person should always floss after dipping his can of smokeless tobacco, his or her, or whatever. People should always floss after dipping their cans of smokeless tobacco. You could also eliminate the pronoun altogether. A person should always floss after dipping a can of smokeless tobacco. Delicious. All right. Everyone gets angry when an instructor laughs at them. The antecedent everyone is considered singular, but them is plural. They don't agree, so we need to fix it. Everyone gets angry when an instructor laughs at him or her. All students get angry when an instructor laughs at them. Pronoun reference. So this is the next thing. Pronoun reference deals with passages of writing in which all pronouns are easily matched with antecedents. Pronoun reference problems occur for two reasons. These happen a lot in student papers. First, such a problem can occur when there are too many possible antecedents for a pronoun. This is called an unclear antecedent. Jim and Bill went water skiing and he forgot his floaties. The problem with this one is we don't know who he and his is referring to. It's either referring to Jim or Bill, but we don't know which one. And so you would need to go ahead and just use the actual name instead of he here. Also, reference problems can happen when there is simply no antecedent available to go with the pronoun. I received a speeding ticket yesterday. They should raise the speed limit in this town. So the problem here, they is referring to somebody, but it isn't clear who. We know it means the people that run the town, the townspeople, the police, somebody like that, but we haven't said who. And so this is a mistake, and it needs to be replaced with a group of people. Be sure in your own writing that it is absolutely clear to whom or what all pronouns refer. Here's another example. Rastus helped Bubba when he went to the dentist's office. Here we don't know who he is referring to. Is it referring to Rastus or Bubba? Even though he didn't feel well, he still saw his patients. So is he referring to Rastus, Bubba, or the dentist now? On the way, Bubba's car had a flat tire, and he got out and helped him. Again, this could be Rastus, Bubba. This could be Rastus or Bubba this time. Rastus and Bubba couldn't understand why Darlene and Bessie were angry, but it was obvious that she didn't expect him to show up late to her daughter's prom. So this time we don't know if she is referring to Darlene or Bessie. We don't know if him is referring to Rastus or Bubba. Anyway, they took off their fancy dresses and went to bed. Now we don't know if they refers to Bessie and Darlene, Rastus and Bubba, the daughter. It could refer to Rastus and Bubba. It's 2023. You never know. But yeah, we need to make sure it's clear who everyone is referring to. Otherwise, our paragraph is very confusing. So this is a really tricky one that throws a lot of people off. As far as let me show you this slide first. There are subjective pronouns and objective pronouns, and most of the time you will not screw this up. He is a subjective pronoun, and him is an objective pronoun. He gave the ball to him. Subjective, I'll show you what it means here in a second, but all of these are really obvious. The hard one is this one up here, who and whom, because you probably haven't used the word whom very often. I'll just go over this and then we'll look at those. Just as pronouns have number, they also have case. Pronouns are either subjective, meaning they act as the subject of a verb, or objective, meaning they act as the direct object, indicate indirect object or object of preposition. Basically what this means is you use one kind of pronoun for the person or thing in a sentence that is doing an action, and you use a different sort of pronoun for the thing that action is being done to. He worked on, let's see. Yeah, he gave the ball to him. She danced with her. They brought mail to them. That kind of thing. You won't mess this up most of the time, but the one that you will mess up probably is this one up here. You probably just use who for both of these, but there's a word called whom that will occasionally pop up and works as an objective pronoun. Subjective and objective case. Sometimes young children don't grasp the concept of pronoun case, so they make such statements as, me want to go to the store. Me want to go to the toy store, rather. A young child might use an objective case pronoun, me, as a subject of a verb. The correct pronoun, of course, is I. Most people aren't going to mess this up. Cookie Monster will, but you probably won't because you've grown up. Alright. Yeah, you would say, I want to go to the toy store, or would you take me to the toy store? But you wouldn't say, me want to go to the toy store. Who, subjective, and whom, objective. Who and whom work the same way. You only use who as the subject of a verb. It will usually come just before the verb. Only use whom as the object of some kind. So, yeah, this is their example that it gives. This lady is doing it wrong. She says, who shall I say is calling? The problem here is that the person calling is the one who is the subject of this sentence, and therefore the object of the sentence is this who here, and it needs to be who. So here's some examples. He was the one who or whom wore a pink tutu to the interview. In this case, he is the subject of this sentence, and he is wearing the pink tutu to the interview. So you would say who in this case. If you were saying whom did you put the pink tutu on and send to their interview, then they would be the object of this sentence. But because he put the pink tutu on himself and went to that interview himself, you would use who. Yeah. All right. Who or whom ate the last can of Spam? Again, whoever ate that can of Spam is the one doing the action in this sentence. If they were the can of Spam instead, if that's the person that we were trying to use a pronoun for here, then we would go with whom. But because if we said the can of Spam ate whom, we would use whom. But because we're asking who ate it, they are the subject of the sentence, and so we're going to go with who. Clear as mud. Got two more of these, I think. Who or whom did you support in the school as most likely to be arrested? So in this case, you are supporting someone. You are the subject of this sentence, and you supported this person to be most likely to be arrested. So because that makes them the object, and so we go with whom for this person. Yeah, whom should be used as an object of a verb or preposition. So whom did you support in school as most likely to get arrested? Yeah. With who or whom did you go to get your new tattoo? Again, you are the subject, and you went to get your new tattoo with whom. So this person is the object of the sentence, and so you would go with whom. I hope that's not a real tattoo. I guess I kind of hope this one is. That's pretty funny. Alright guys, I hope that helps. Go and complete the pronoun reference agreement in case exercise. Once you're done with both of those exercises, turn them in down here in the submission box, and you will be done with this assignment. Alright, see you next time in class.